NBA will be in Oklahoma City next season playing their games. Just say that I could not be more proud of our legal team, our trial team, many who were supportive of our effort in the trial. Their commitment of time and care was the difference. It's the basic financial framework of the settlement is that in exchange for basically terminating the lease at Key Arena, we will make a payment of $45 million to the city of Seattle. Then we have a contingent payment of $30 million to the city. And it's contingent on the following. Number one, that the state legislature in Washington approves funding for a new building or a renovation of Key Arena in the next legislative session or through the end of the year in 2009. If they do not do that, we do not owe the $30 million. If they do accomplish that, then the city has 5 years in which to get another team, either an expansion team or a relocation. If they do not, if they do qualify and build it and get the funding for the building and do not get a team in the term of 5 years, we owe the $30 million. If they do get a team in the term, we do not owe the $30 million. Of course, the Schultz lawsuit is out there. We understand it. We believe it is baseless, has no merit. We will fight it vigorously and aggressively. But if the Schultz lawsuit would bring the team back to Seattle and we would have to play in Key Arena, then we would receive refunds of the $45 million. Half of it if we played there 1 year, the other half if we played there 2 years. The transition and the move of this operation and this team begins tomorrow morning from Seattle to Oklahoma City. And it begins with the most important piece of our organization. It begins with our players. And I really want to thank our players and our coaches who endured an extraordinary season of playing with this uncertainty, particularly as young players. And to have that uncertainty removed was an enormous motivation for our ownership group to pursue this settlement agreement. I think the city is going to be so taken with our players, the type of guys they are, the character that they have, the integrity they have as individuals. They're going to fit right in this community and in this state. We think the future of this team is extraordinarily bright. We're thrilled with our draft. We've got enormously talented young players. I think we're the youngest team in the league, or right in there with Portland as the youngest team in the league. A very, very bright future on the court. So it's important to us that we welcome these guys to town with the Oklahoma standard, the Oklahoma style, and the warmth and the appreciation and all that we know we can deliver when it comes to making people feel welcome and very, very quickly feel a part of our community. And of course, the same goes for our coaches, our professional staff, our business staff. All of these people will be making moves from a long way away into a place that most of them have never been. And we want to do all that we can to make that transition seamless and efficient and go very, very well for them and their families. The business side of the business operation transition will be led by Danny Barth, who is our interim president and CEO, and Sam Presti, our GM, will head up the transition operation for the basketball operation. The Ford Center, as you know, is progressing. A lot of work has already taken place. Design work has taken place with the architectural team and the city and with representatives from the team. Now, of course, with certainty of when we can move, it really changes the critical path of what we can focus on, what elements of the building need to be complete, where we need to focus our attention, our money, and our time, and how we transition into this year and then the next year. It's the basic sense that some things will get done this year for this season, but that everything will then be complete for the following season. So we're working together with the city in doing that, and again, the city continues to be a remarkable partner, professional, and very much in tune with the needs and the demands of the NBA and what's required to perform and have a viable building that works. The practice facility will soon begin its design. There's not been a location determined. There are several locations that are under consideration, and that will begin to come into focus very, very soon. We have done a lot of work on the programming of the building in terms of what's going to happen inside. And again, as a statement to our current roster and as a statement to players around the league, potential free agents, and people that can be a part of our organization, this will be amongst the finest practice facilities in the league. There'll be 2 courts. It will be state-of-the-art training and medical and rehab and nutrition and business support and media facilities, et cetera, that will make a statement that we are completely committed to our players and to this organization when it comes to basketball. We will begin immediately in developing and rolling out sales, sponsorships, marketing relationship, and broadcast plans. Again, much like the Hornets experience, we're on a very short time frame for this season. Much of these relationships will be, if not temporary, certainly interim relative to the longer-term full relationships that we'll then establish. But we have the full support of the league in terms of helping us work on those plans, and the best consulting talent around the country that we've been very fortunate to attract and are very interested in working with us and rolling this out. But rest assured, we will have a very professional, very comprehensive, very aggressive, and proactive sales platform with this organization. I've already got a lot of questions and emails about Hornet season ticket holders. And of course, without the experience of the Hornets, we would not be standing here today. And we all know that, and I appreciate that so very much. It's going to be difficult to say that if you had a seat at the Ford Center for the Hornets, that you can have that very seat again with the new team and the new building. In part because the building will be reconfigured and the seat that may not even exist as it did with the Hornets, but also just a lot of different circumstances relative to what was a temporary relocation of a franchise and now a full-blown relocation of a franchise, a permanent relocation of a franchise, how our sponsorships will work, what some of these long-term relationships will look like. But rest assured, we are cognizant of the passion that the Hornets fans had and have, and want to try to find a way to somehow reward that and recognize that as we move forward. So we're going to be working on those plans. There will be immediately, though, what we're calling a data capture platform set up where we're going to take names, and it's not a priority deal, so it's not when your name hits, but we will take names and we will get back with you. A personal contact will be made to people that sign up. And there's 2 ways to do it. One is on the website, supersonics.com, and it goes live now or pretty soon with a link to NBA OKC, as you see the logo. And then we have a phone bank set up that's live immediately. And that number is 888-618-HOOP, H-O-O-P. So people are standing by. They're going to take information and get your name in so we can make sure and get you squared away relative to tickets when we get started. Also, we've had a lot of interest in people wanting to know if they can find employment with the team. And we've had a lot of folks call about vendor relationships and services and professional services that they would like to provide to the team. And again, our chamber has stepped to the front, and the Chamber of Commerce is going to assimilate all that information. And also at some point we'll put together a job fair where people will come and learn more about what the opportunities are and see where their interest is and provide us applications to get that started. So the chamber's the go-to on those two issues. Talk about the name a little bit. Another element of our settlement agreement was that we will reserve the name Sonics and Supersonics and the marks and the colors, and will not use them. But we will return them to a team if a team indeed does return to Seattle in the term. There are original banners and an original championship trophy that belong to the Sonics, and we will leave that with Seattle. We will create duplicate banners and a championship trophy as a part of what we believe is the history that we purchased as a part of this transaction. That will determine exactly how we'll use those, but we believe those are assets that we want to have. As it relates to the, quote, history, the statistics, the records, et cetera, we will keep that, and that'll be a part of this team's history. And also, if a team does locate in Seattle, they will have the ability to use that information as well. So, Oklahoma City will have a new name and new colors.